Hi and welcome to Drummers Review. I'm Nolly and today we're going to be looking at an array of Paiste PSTX effect cymbals. The Paiste PSTX range is a comprehensive collection of affordable effect cymbals designed to give modern, trashy sounds without breaking the bank. There are loads of different cymbals to review here. We've got a 12-inch pair of cajon hi-hats, as well as 10, 14 and 16-inch Swiss hats. There are a pair of splash stacks, one being 8 over 10 inch and the other being 10 over 12 inch. There is a 10-inch Swiss splash, 16-inch cajon crash, then an 18-inch Swiss thin crash, and a 20-inch Swiss medium crash. Out of these cymbals, the cajon range, the 2 splash stacks, and the 20-inch Swiss medium crash are all new additions to the range for 2018. These cymbals are mainly made out of what Paiste refer to as 2002 bronze, also known as CU-SN8. There are a few cymbals here as well that are made out of brass, specifically the bottom cymbals out of the Swiss hat pairs and the tops of the splash stacks. The RRP prices go from £64 for the 10-inch splash all the way up to £254 for the 16-inch Swiss hats, and there's the full pricing information available over on our website, drummersreview.com. Although effect cymbals are traditionally used as part of a larger cymbal setup, we thought it best to present each of the cymbals individually so you could get the clearest picture of what they do. With that in mind, let's take a deeper listen and then come back for some discussion afterwards. Our initial impression is that we thought these cymbals looked really cool, with that almost brushed-like finish lending a silky aesthetic that to us looks a lot more attractive than many other cymbals we've seen in this price range. To start with the hi-hat selection, the 12-inch cajon hats are really quite thick, and as such deliver a crisp definition when played closed and pedalled, but perhaps it's not the most flattering sound when they're played open. As the name might suggest, these are aimed at drummers who have more portable acoustic setups, and Paiste even note that they sound great when played by hand, not just with sticks. The Swiss hats were all really enjoyable instruments to play and hear, though perhaps the sound is closer to that of a stack than a traditional hi-hat. And it is worth noting too that those holes on the playing surface can catch your sticks if you're not careful. With that in mind, we found that they responded best when played with the shoulder on the edge of the hats, and we can imagine that these are probably going to appeal to people that want to use them more as auxiliary fixed hi-hats than as a main pair. The 14 and 16-inch models were surprisingly close in pitch and tone, but we particularly liked the 10-inch with its chirpy and trashy sound. We have to say that the splash stacks didn't really do it for us. They didn't have that kind of pleasing, distorted character that we were expecting. And also they seemed to have quite a prominent note, especially in the larger 10/12-inch, that seemed to work against the sound to us. Our preference out of the two is the smaller 8/10-inch splash stack, and we can imagine it being used by some players as an occasional accent hit rather than something that would get ridden on. The 10-inch Swiss splash is very harsh and aggressive sounding, but we think this is exactly what it's designed to be. We found this to be a really fun little splash with a bright character that's going to cut through instruments well, and we particularly enjoyed as well that it had a lovely buttery feel when played. Moving on to the crashes, we felt that the 16-inch cajon crash was a bit in a no man's land. It didn't have a kind of trashy character that would set it apart as an effects crash, yet at the same time it doesn't sound anything like a traditional cymbal, so we weren't really sure what to make of it. The 18 and 20-inch Swiss crashes, however, were really satisfyingly dirty, with a great distorted white noise character that almost borders on sounding like a china. During the review session, the 20-inch particularly stole our hearts, but it's not like the 18 was far behind either. Now more than ever, there's a lot of interest in unusual and trashy sounding cymbals, so we can imagine drummers of all levels taking an interest in the PSTX range to expand their sound palette. It's great to see a decent quality, purpose-designed range of cymbals that's priced within the reach of aspiring drummers. And with so many different cymbals in the range, we can imagine that there's something there for everybody. Whilst we didn't love all of these cymbals, we do think that the standouts here are great value for money and well worth checking out. But we'd love to know what you think, so please leave us a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to get notified of new content, and I'll see you next time at Drummers Review.